sage. Spray a little lavender sage. Y'all, this stuff is excellent. I bought it at like Marshall's, but my house smells like lavender sage. Anyway, what up, family? It's your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite father, your favorite son, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to Living For You, the YouTube channel. This is a safe space, a positive place, and now it smells good, in which we come together, we grow together, we learn together, we work on mental health, we work on emotional health, physical health. It's just a place for us to be whole. It's one of the very few positive places you will find out here up in these internet streets. So, welcome to the Living For You, the YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Larry Smith, if you did not know. If you want to know more about me, you can actually go to my website at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That's www.liveforyoucoaching.com, and there you find out that I am a spiritual and a life coach, and I own a business called Live For You Coaching. I wrote a book, I give classes, I do lectures, what else? Life coach, spiritual coach, I do a lot of things. And I'm also an entrepreneur in many other ways, so you can find it out there. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Larry Smith. It should be here somewhere right around here. At Dr. Larry Smith on both Instagram and on Facebook. You can do that as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, but you watch me all the time, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Why not? We're family. So anyway, welcome to all. I want to jump on today and talk about sensitivity, but more so the notion of the individual versus the collective. When is it important to focus on individual then versus focusing on the collective, and then when is it appropriate to focus on the collective versus the individual? I think what I've been seeing online, and you guys, if you don't know, I spend a lot of time on social media reading and scrolling and posting and doing stuff like this. My businesses are mostly online, and so a lot of that stuff I'm always constantly online. But in addition to that, part of my businesses as well is customer service and dealing with people and engaging people on a constant basis. I'm always, as an educator, as a life coach, as a realtor, as yada yada yada, I'm always engaging and interacting with a diverse group of people all the time. And so I've had a study 101 course on human interactions and dealing with people and engaging with people. And what I have noticed, especially in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, around that time, people have gotten less and less and less sensitive to the needs, desires, feelings, emotions, experiences of others. We as a people, and this is a generalization, but it rings true. We as a people, a human race, have gotten so individually selfish that we have completely missed the sensitivity button when it comes to dealing with others or working in the collective and doing what's for the collective good. The one thing that I know for certain, and there's not much that I can say I know for certain because I'm a human too, but the one thing that I know for certain is that there is no way for us, even individually, to sustain if the collective is not good. If each and every person on this planet thinks about themselves before they think about the collective good, we are in trouble. And based on what I am seeing, we in trouble, y'all. We in trouble. People are focusing on themselves in so many ways, and so much contradiction to what's good for the community body of humanity. I'll go with the simplest example first, and I knew this was going to get a little intense and a little heavy, so I guess that was the universe reminding me to get my sage, because I knew this conversation was going to get heavy. I felt it when I was feeling like talking about it. It's going to get heavy. Let me spray me some sage, get some good vibes and vibrations going on all around me. However, I'll use a simple example. Climate change. unless you've lived somewhere under a rock to where you have not been able to see the weather patterns or all of the other stuff dealing with the environment, nature, and our lovely planet, ladies and gentlemen, she's sick. She's sick. And she's responding out of her sickness. More hurricanes, global warming, the planet is warming up, unusually hot days, weather patterns changing, earthquakes happening randomly. I've been here within the last, I say probably year or so, we've had like 4 minor earthquakes here in California. Which the natives, as they tell me, this is rare that this is happening. But it's all impacted by global climate change. But when you talk to people on an individual level, they say, I don't care about that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to drive my car that emits a lot of stuff. I'm going to not recycle, continue to live the luxuries that I have, and not care about the climate. Because my life is comfortable. It doesn't matter. Things change. It is what it is. That's the selfish approach. Why? Because we all have to live on this planet. We all have to drink this water. We all have to breathe in this air. And so if one person, if millions of people feel the exact same way as that one person, where does our planet go? We were in a global pandemic. We're still technically in a global pandemic where hundreds of thousands of people have died from it. And our simple part in it as an individual is to get vaccinated. Now, mind you, I'm not going to go on a rant on whether you should or should not get vaccinated. That is a personal choice. Whatever your choice is, it's yours. But at the end of the day, are you making that choice based on your own individual experience? Or are you making that choice on the collective experience? And if whichever choice you make on that choice, how are you ensuring that your choice isn't impacting the hundreds, if not thousands of people you're going to encounter on a daily basis? So you make your choice based on that as opposed to just saying me, 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 me. The real answer is we. And I am finding that more and more times than not, people are getting more and more individualized and self-centered and selfish than thinking about the collective. You know, you look at businesses, right? Millions of dollars, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. Businesses like Amazon and Tesla and these massive corporations, Walmart, so forth, blah, 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 not to name drop, but there's a lot of them. Make billions, trillions, lots of money. But pay their employees, the bread and butter, the operations, the gasoline of the business, very little. But the CEOs and the owners make trillions, billions, trillions of dollars. Me-centric, not we-centric. That is the world. That is what the world is becoming more and more and more. Drive out there in traffic, for God's sakes. It is almost like I don't know if you guys remember when I'm this old. I was a teenager. Well, yeah, I was pretty much an older teenager when Mario Kart came out. And if you guys remember Mario Kart, everybody was bumping everybody off the road. The goal was to try to win the race by any means necessary. Driving out in traffic here in LA is like driving in Mario Kart / a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. It's like Mario Kart and Grand Theft Auto out there on these roads out here because I feel like I gotta survive just to get to my next destination, which is only a few exits up. Because some crazy person is individually driving, and as they're individually driving, they're individually texting and changing the radio and cleaning the back of the car and disciplining their children, all while trying to drive and eat a sandwich and drink Coke at the same time. And you're like, what are you doing? They're so consumed with the me, they're not paying attention to the we. And they're putting everybody around them in jeopardy because of their self-centered selfishness that they are displaying. That is where we are. That is where we are. That is where we are, unfortunately, in this planet, at this time, in this country, in this world. We're more about the me than we're about the we. And that is no place for us to be. That is a dangerous place for us to be. We have lost our sensitivity for our fellow humans. I was reading something on social media just the other day of a guy who had to walk to work far to get to his job, and he didn't have a car, and he didn't have a closer place to work, but he would walk miles and miles and miles to get to his job just to be able to take care of himself and help his family out. Young guy. And when I read now it happened to be a post that was done by the White House, and you know, people got political thoughts about everything. Anything that comes out has to be politicized, no matter what it is. Even though, to me, I didn't really vote in the politics of it, no matter what it was about. That was irrelevant. For me, was the people's response to him. Well, why don't he just find a closer job? Why does he walk? And why does he do this? Somebody even had the nerve to say, what about accountability and self-accountability and being self-driven? I'm like, you can't be more self-driven, self-accountable, and taking personal accountability by walking to work miles to get to a job that probably pays you little anyway. What do you mean when you talk about self-accountability? Very accountable. The young man was very accountable, but people have lost their sensitivity that they find something that he's doing positive negative. And then not to mention the hundreds of people who politicized it and made it about left versus right and all of this other stuff that really wasn't the focus of the issue, especially not my perspective of it. My perspective was, this young man is doing what he needs to do. He's working hard. He's walking to work. He's trying to better himself. And instead of encouraging this young man and being supportive, people would rather put him down because of where the message came from. That's what I'm talking about. It is this lack of sensitivity for human beings. And what baffles me, and what baffled me in that post, by the way, some of the comments, is a lot of these people will profess Christianity. I'm a follower of Christ. Are you? Because last time I read the Bible, which I read multiple times, Jesus would have never looked at this young man this way. Jesus would have seen something different, as opposed to trying to criticize the young man for doing what he needs to do to survive. And then on one hand, how are you going to criticize somebody for doing something, but on the other hand say they need to take accountability? That is accountability. And that's just so un-Christian-like. So it's like the biblical admonition, or admonition, Jesus' words, love thy neighbor as thyself and God, has completely just... And that's not just a Christian teaching. You find that in all of the world's religions. That's just, to me, that's just good common sense. That's just good, good-hearted people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. With love, compassion, respect, and sensitivity. There's no reason to argue that. You shouldn't have to, and I actually, believe it or not, if I'm being transparent and honest, when I posted my response to the Facebook post, a lot of people just started attacking me for what I said. And I'm thinking in my head, why are we even arguing whether or not you should be sensitive to somebody who's in need? Why are we even arguing the fact that you should be sensitive to somebody who's trying their best to be successful? Why are we even arguing the fact that you should be sensitive to somebody who is in a tough situation that they can't do nothing about, that they need help? Why are we arguing that? We should not argue that we need to be sensitive to people. That should not be the argument. But it turned out that it was. We have lost our soul, and that's not to be cliche, but we have lost our soul. And on a deeper, more cosmic, more metaphysical level, the soul is the one thing that connects all of us. Because it doesn't matter if you're black, white, gay, straight, trans, Asian, Asian American, or Asian from Asian countries, Native American, it doesn't matter. None of that matters on the soul level, the spiritual level, because we all equal on that level. When you lose that, you lose your sensibilities and your abilities to connect to another. And when we can't connect to another, you won't help another. You're going to go for your own self-gain. And if everybody on the planet is out there for their own self, what's left? Fighting. Bumping heads. Arguing. Wars. Things that have done destruction historically in the human experience. All out of me first mentality. Sometimes it's okay to look after yourself, but when it comes to society, you have to consider the whole. You are part of the whole, and if the whole doesn't function, your personal, individual protections will eventually go away. And I promise you, that's a world that none of us wants to live in. That's it. That's all. I have nothing more to say. But I had to get on here and I had to talk about that. And let's just spray one more time some sage for the planet so that we can come back together and we can be one and we can live in harmony and try to understand each other instead of stand on top of each other for our own individual self-gain. That's it. I love you guys. Like I always say, I love you all. Even if you're not subscribed, I love you too. Even if you don't know me, I love you. Even if you don't like me, I love you. Why? Because it's all about love, red, beating hearts, energy. I love you energetically. I send love and grace and blessings and peace and abundance to you all. Because I love you. We're all family. We need to remember that. As I always say, I will see you in the next video, beloveds.